Welcome to Taste Buds. I'm Debra Eckerling, goal strategist, writer, and foodie, and today I'm speaking with Aliza Sokolow, author of This Is What I Eat. Welcome, Aliza. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
It feels like spring must be your favorite time of year.
To say spring is definitely one of my favorite times. They all have their perks, but I'm very excited for spring. It's sort of the peach blossoms are showing, the sugar snap peas are coming, citrus is sort of on its way out, and so lots of hope for stone fruit to come.
Yet I do not think of fruits and vegetables by a season, and now I feel like I kind of have to.
Yes,
I
you do
feel,
have to. It's like if someone offered me a tomato in the winter, I probably wouldn't eat it. It's
ooh,
really like the way I do my year and my eating and cooking and shopping is very, very seasonal. And luckily in California, we have microclimate. So we sort of get the best of everything all year round.
well, we do love our food, and we are very lucky that way. So I guess it does work out, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes, we're so blessed here.
Your book is all about these fun activities and explorations of food. What led to that?
Well, I worked for Chef Jamie Oliver, and I think it was I was like right after I graduated, 2010 on the Food Revolution Project, and we worked with kids in schools who had a lot of eating issues based upon, or a lot of health issues based upon what they were eating. And we were in the schools for about a year, and we were cooking with the kids elbow to elbow, and I saw what a difference it made in their lives to be eating healthy and not just eating, but also cooking. And I really loved how that made me feel to have that experience. And so I thought I would like to dedicate my life to making kids eat healthy. And I studied to be an architect, and I've always been very creative. If you follow me on social media, you see I always make art through fruits and vegetables, and everything that I cook and plate is always beautiful. And I often don't attribute that to myself, but more the fruits and vegetables that I pick and what the farmers do. But I saw what an impact it made on these kids when I had worked with them, and I thought that doing it through an activity book would be the best way to do it. Instead of eat this, it's healthy, have them build some curiosity through the lens of color and shapes and sizes and seasons, and some other fun activities that are in there.
And I'd imagine it's fun for adults too. Because why should kids have all the fun with their food?
I agree. I did an event in San Diego this past weekend, and we did an apple tasting, and we talked all about the different types of apples and textures. And so many places in the world you think, oh, here's a tomato, there's just one kind of tomato, and there's tens of thousands of different types of tomatoes out there. But I still enjoy coloring in the book and seeing other people use it and the reactions to that parents have when their kids are very into it. It's a great way to have that conversation about eating, and in a mindful way.
What is something anyone could do, no matter what their age, like literally today or tomorrow, to have a food adventure?
Oh, well, something I'm very into doing that you don't really have to go anywhere for is regrowing avocado pits or potatoes. I have three of them in my window right now that have been growing for a few years now. And if you take, there's also a bunch of activities in my book that include like growing seeds through like a plastic bag in your window. But my favorite thing to do is to take an avocado pit and regrow it and make your own tree. And it's something that anyone can do. And even if you're at a restaurant, you can ask them if they have any avocado pits left. If your well, now avocados are going to become much more expensive, and you can ask them if they have any there and regrow them at home, and to see that all it takes is a little bit of water and sunshine, and you too can grow your own food.
I have to admit, my thumb is the opposite of green, but what I can grow, are green onions.
Fabulous.
I can regrow things in water. I cannot grow things in dirt.
Honestly, you have to go where your talents are. So if it's an aquaponic situation, just go with it. I think that's the coolest thing also about regrowing scallions is that you just need the bottoms and anyone can do it. Like if you just don't throw them out. You can also put them back into soil after you grow them a bit in water.
I
So
have tried it, and then but they don't grow in soil for me. They only grow in water.
We'll stick with water for you then.
And what about potatoes? Did you say you can regrow potatoes as well?
You can if you put them, do the toothpick method. You'll see it in my book, or just I feel like anywhere on the internet. You just poke a few toothpicks in and put them in water, and they'll regrow, and they grow under dirt, so you can replant them in soil as well. And the sweet, or like especially sweet potatoes, I remember doing that as a kid, where like the leaves grow and the roots grow, and you really get to see the entire vegetable growing system.
So spring has a lot of good foods, but it also has a lot of good holidays. So what is it that you like to cook this time of year?
Well, I'm gonna be making a lot of Hamantaschen, which I'm very excited about, and I'm gonna be doing them with a bunch of different jams. Something else I love is for Passover, which is, the Jewish holidays are late this year. My mom always does a few different kinds of haroset, so I like to contribute to that as well. And my favorite one is the Iranian haroset that's made with pomegranate juice and pistachios. And every year I have very vivid memories of going to driving school during Passover, and my friend Aryeh lived up the street from, I think it was probably called Bob's Driving School in the Valley. I have no idea if that's what it was called, but I'm assuming it was. And my best friend Miri and I and Aryeh would go and eat a Passover lunch during our break from driving school, and that's when I learned about Persian haroset. And to this day, I email him every year asking him for the recipe because I think it's the superior haroset. And like although the Ashkenazi one is delicious with apples and apricots and almonds, I think that the Persians have the win on this one. It's so incredible. His mom was a really wonderful cook, so shout out to Tina. But it's part of the fun. But I'm gonna end up teaching a Jewish holiday basics cooking class at the end of the month, actually. And we're gonna be doing a brisket, some homemade salad dressing, which I think everyone is scared to do but needs to learn, and some other fun spring vegetables in that class. So watch out for that notice that's coming out. But there's so many great things. I really just love doing a big green salad with all of the different green herbs I find at the farmer's market and the other vegetables that are available.
Isn't the farmer's market like the perfect place for a scavenger hunt?
Yes. I always tell people that when they're like, how do I get my kids into eating? And I say, go to the farmer's market with them and look at my book. There's a page with all the different seasons in the book as well. And pick a color and try to find something from each color to take home and learn how to cook it. And whatever it is probably not that hard to cook. Like cooking is daunting for many people, but is really just sort of washing and cutting things at the end of the day. Like not everything needs to be cooked. Certain things you can eat raw. There's the full gamut of stuff, but doing a scavenger hunt by color is one of my favorite suggestions for people.
Do you remember like an aha moment for you or a story from someone else where they discovered something really interesting at the farmer's market?
People message me weekly to say, I found this. Do you know what it is? Or something. There's so much learning to be done. A lot of times if people post something and it's the wrong thing, I'll comment and say, oh, actually, that's like a jujube. Or people are fascinated by passion fruit or cherimoya, which is like a very custardy type apple. I already forgot the question you asked me.
I asked if there was a food aha moment from someone who discovered something interesting.
No, it's mostly just questions of what is this and how do I use it for the most part.
Do you ever get stumped?
Rarely. Very rarely. I really study everything. So I love it. I love to know all of the different fruits and vegetables. And when apple season comes, there's this one fabulous dry farm that comes to the Santa Monica market called Sea Canyon. And Mike Cerrone is the farmer. And I've asked him about all the different types of apples, and some are better for cooking with, and some are better for baking, and some are great for just eating plain. And they don't all taste the same. I'm sure you've seen in my book, or I'm very obsessed with apples. To me, they're the gateway drug into the fruit and vegetable world. My second grade teacher did a unit on apples, and she got me hooked on them. And so she came to my book party as well. I told her what an inspiration she was to me, and that's so cool that like something I did in the second grade, and I'm obviously very far out of second grade at this point, had such an impact that something was, we tried all, like, I don't, maybe it was 10 different types of apples, and we talked about how the peels were different and the textures, and I copied it when I do my in-person events because I was so moved by getting to, I guess, sit and eat apples but talk about them. So that's where my inspiration comes from.
I love that. That's such a great backstory.
Yeah.
And what do you just eat the apples, or do you like to cook with them? I'm getting a sense that even though you love cooking, the natural flavors of everything really excite you.
Then that's my favorite part of it. I always say if you buy really great ingredients, you don't have to do a lot to the food. So like in California, I felt like this became, in terms of the restaurant scene in the last decade, we started winning more awards in California and getting a lot more notice from different publications. And people would say, oh, you don't really do that much to your food. And on the East Coast, where there's much, I feel like, fancier restaurants, they have to do a lot to their food to make it taste good. And a lot of it is being shipped from the Santa Monica market to Puree in New York, and they do all sorts of incredible things. Here, I feel like a little bit of acid, salt, and fat goes a very long way. I was telling you, I eat a lot of Israeli salad, and then I just add whatever seasonal ingredient is into that. It's very easy to cook in California. We just have such fantastic ingredients available and grown like less than 100 miles away, which is the exceptional part.
Can you give a couple examples of things that you can prepare quickly and easily?
Well, my favorite after farmers market trick, or I guess go to, is I buy tortillas at the market, and that grain is grown in Tehachapi, about 75 miles north of LA County. And I eat some local eggs, and I buy avocado from JJ's Lone Daughter Ranch and some limes from Laura at that ranch. I make a breakfast taco. Sometimes I'll buy salsa from Harry's Berries, or I'll make it myself. A lot of Israeli salad, I only buy cucumbers from this one farm, and I add yellow peppers, and there's usually tomatoes somewhere. Like there have been and they've been really good, which is awesome. I usually only eat them in the summer. I wait all year for sun gold tomatoes from this one farm, and they're incredible. They're my driving snack. They're like better than a strawberry. They're so sweet. And I buy some herbs and just chop everything teeny tiny and eat it with a spoon. What else do I like to eat? I eat a lot of snap peas right now since it's spring. I like touch all of the different ones at the different stands to see which ones are very crispy. I want them to make a sound when I bite into them. There's some that are floppier, and those are not my favorite. I make a lot of mint tea as well. So I learned that all of the flavor comes from the stems and not the leaves. And so I make sure to put all of those in when I make tea. I just find like being healthy can be easy when you just cut things yourself. Like it's a very simple thing to go to the market and just buy a few ingredients that look good and just eat them. It's really, it's not rocket scientist, but it's work. Um, yeah, I'm always eating vegetables. I think they're so delicious and you feel good, and there's no nutrition label. It just is what it is, which is very rare in this day and age with so many packaged foods. So I would encourage everyone to go to the market and just look around and try things and sample. And I bought strawberries last week since they always come in March. I mean, they're there year round, but they were so exceptional. I just like couldn't believe how delicious they were. And they were from Tamai Family Farms, and I wrote to them and was like, "Wow, I don't know what you did this season, but your berries have been next level for months now. I just can take down an entire like 3 carton container of berries myself. They've been really incredible."
I love that you write fan letters to farms. I
I
think that's just
do.
amazing.
I do. It's important, I think, in all walks of life to let people know when they're doing a great job.
Is there a recipe that you want to share that's simple and delicious that we could put in the recap with the article?
I will think of something good to send to you for my Substack. I seem to have really stored everything there that's in my mind. People should follow my Substack. I send really easy, delicious recipes, mostly because I only like to do things that are easy and delicious. And there's a lot of salads. Oh, I made this really incredible orange olive salad last week. It sounds strange when you say it out loud, but my friend is Moroccan and we made dinner, and it is like sliced oranges with these cured olives, and the flavors go so beautifully together. I've been thinking of it since we made dinner. It's really, be happy to share that. It's incredible. Just like very simple, a few I think I forgot which seasonings go. I wrote it down, but it's really exceptional.
I really feel like people tend to overcomplicate things, and you're like the opposite of that when it
Yes.
comes to cooking. Why do you think people overcomplicate?
I think cooking is very scary for some people, and a lot of the framework just needs to change, like how we describe everything. So I don't, if I'll be at a friend's house, sometimes they will say, "Oh, I don't want you to see me cooking this." And I'm like, "It's okay. I don't judge anyone. I think we're all doing our best, but people think delicious things need to be complicated, and they really don't. It's usually the most simple things with the best ingredients that taste the best and really can like nourish your body." I always say when I go to the farmers market, I'm like, this is the healthcare system. Like this can be your healthcare if you're eating things with a lot of nutrition and from the earth. Like this can be part of the healthcare system, is really what you put in your body. Like you can't expect to put a bunch of junk inside and function well. So, oh, I think soups are also really great for people to make who are scared of cooking. They're so hard to mess up.
Well, my gateway appliance was the Instant Pot. I'm a former non-cook, so once I realized you could put in ingredients and then go do something and then you're rewarded with food, I mean, I was sold.
It's the dream. I'm not an
Right.
Instant Pot person. I realize most people are, but it's incredible. Like that machine has done a lot for people, especially like a slow cooked chicken. They like put it in the morning and come home and you have shredded chicken for dinner and other delicious things in there.
That to me is the best part of making chicken soup is you're cooking chicken that then you could use for other dishes.
It's
So I am
fabulous.
completely with you on that. You already said your Substack. Are there other places where people can learn more about you?
People can find me on Instagram and Substack. That's about it. But I think Substack is really the most fun way because I will give you delicious recipes that are mostly vegetable based. I'm not vegetarian, but I obviously love vegetables and some sweet treats. And it's always things that I'm just cooking anyways. And I'm like, I should share this. And that's how my Substack got started.
I think you're definitely doing the right thing because someone who loves vegetables as much as you do and produce needs to be sharing that love, which is
I
what
agree.
you're doing. So
It's
thank
true.
you so much for your time today. Any
Thank you.
final food for thought on how people can learn to love cooking?
Honestly, if you see something at a restaurant or online, give it a go. You have nothing to lose, maybe a little bit of time. And also, you are what you eat. So, when you eat things that come from the earth, you'll probably feel really good. So, I just want to encourage eating things that you find at the farmer's market or stuff that doesn't have a nutrition label because it's just a carrot. Pretty delicious.
That's a really good basis. If it doesn't have a label and it looks good, it is probably good for you.
Yeah, and it's probably delicious. And if it's not, add a little bit of salt to it and it'll probably bring out the flavors.
I think that's the perfect way to end. Just add salt. It'll take something good, make it even a little bit better.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Aliza, for taking the time today to talk about your love of produce
Of
and
course.
how easy it is to cook and eat healthy things. Thank you for tuning into Taste Buds with Deb. Don't miss an episode. You can subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and or your favorite podcast platform. And if you go to jewishjournal.com/podcast, you can read the article and get the recipes that go with each episode. And you can learn more at tastebudswithdeb.com. Until next time, have a food adventure. Go on a farmer's market scavenger hunt. Until next time, bon appetit.